There are certain matches where you could have sold 100,000 easily. Not only do they want to see the best football, but they like coming here. They like Old Trafford.
Welcome to my channel. Back in 2010 I made a documentary celebrating the first 100 years of Old Trafford. At the time, the Theatre of Dreams was the best club stadium in Britain, truly the pride of English football, and we had a football team to match. Champions of Europe in 2008 and Champions League finalists in both 2009 and 2011. Today, Manchester United Football Club needs a new manager, new players and a new stadium. All three go hand in hand if our Red Devils are going to start a new era of success. In my opinion, the most important person at the football club is the manager. It's all too obvious now how Sir Alex Ferguson made Manchester United great again, all those years after Sir Matt Busby launched our first post-war dynasty. Finding the next Busby or Ferguson may be an impossible challenge. Even our Red Knights would find it tough in these toxic times. The way so many so-called fans refuse to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when the players clearly let him down speaks volumes about the modern game. Times have certainly changed, but getting a new man in place as soon as possible is now paramount. Erik ten Hag or Mauricio Pochettino, either will do a good job. We just need to get a move on and make a decision, because managing MUFC is not a job for a temp. And that's no criticism of Ralf Rangnick, a class act who speaks with such knowledge and integrity that we've been lucky to have him. Albeit I still believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should have been backed until the end of the season. But sadly, Ole was just too nice to succeed without a right-hand man who could lay down the law. As I've said many times, I'd love to have seen Roy Keane as Ole's number 2. But Fergie's fallout with Keano still casts a shadow at Old Trafford, two of the greatest men in our history. And we failed to replace either one of them, in the dugout and out on the pitch. If we want to be the best team in the world again, we need warriors like Alex Ferguson and Roy Keane, men who'd give absolutely everything to win a football match. We also need a dynamic, long-term plan, and it's time for the owners to step up or step aside. I don't think it's a coincidence that the decline of the team has coincided with the decline of Old Trafford. 17 years ago, when the Glazers moved in, we had a team and a stadium that was revered all around the world. But we've suffered from bad recruitment, bad investments, bad decisions and bad planning over the past decade. And as we've lost ground, our rivals have marched ahead, both on and off the pitch. Now it's time to start fighting back, and I think what we do with the Old Trafford Stadium will be a huge indicator of where we're going as a football club. Do nothing, and it's a sign we're happy to stagnate and accept mediocrity. But do we rebuild from scratch, or do we need the mother of all upgrades? On the playing side, I'd like to see the new manager build a new team around a small nucleus of current players. The likes of David De Gea, Jadon Sancho, Cristiano Ronaldo and Anthony Elanga. Well, those are my choices. What do you think? Likewise with the stadium, let's build on the best of what we already have. Maybe it will cost far more to transform our existing Theatre of Dreams into a new fortress that will be the envy of the world. But I've no doubt that would be the ultimate solution, because the history and aura of Old Trafford is special. It's a magical quality that will pay dividends again in the future as soon as we rebuild our team. The question is, how are we going to fund the transformation? Do we need new owners and new money? Or will the Glazers finally put the future of Manchester United before their own personal reward, without burdening our football club with a new level of debt? And we don't want Old Trafford to be renamed after a sponsor either. Awarded 5 stars by UEFA in 2003, prior to staging the Champions League final, Old Trafford was an elite stadium of the time. When Milan beat Juventus on penalties in that final, the official attendance was 62,315, and there were more improvements in the pipeline. Conversion to an all-seater stadium following Hillsborough and the Taylor report had seen Old Trafford's capacity shrink to an all-time low of just 44,000 in the early 90s. That was nearly half the original 80,000 capacity when Old Trafford staged its very first match against Liverpool in February 1910. The unprecedented success of the Ferguson era enabled Manchester United Football Club to invest in a series of modifications following the advent of the Premier League back in 1992. By the time the Glazers leveraged their purchase of MUFC in 2005, Old Trafford was already on its way to an increased capacity of 75,000, following a series of modifications completed the following year when the quadrants were filled in. But we've seen no major upgrades at Old Trafford since the Americans took control, other than the modest adaptations to satisfy the legal requirements of accommodating disabled supporters, modifications that reduce the current capacity to just over 74,000. At the same time, we've seen success on the pitch evaporate. We've now gone 9 seasons without winning the Premier League and no silverware whatsoever in the last 5 campaigns. Enough is enough. It's time to rebuild Manchester United Football Club, the stadium, the team and our reputation. Many fans have already expressed their doubt that the investment needed will be made. But the truth is that failure to get this right will ultimately reduce the value of Manchester United Football Club. And it doesn't matter how good you are at selling the brand, there's no substitute for silverware and a team the fans are proud of because they play beautiful football. That's the United way, and that, my friends, is what we want.
They're finished in my book, completely. You can't undo what has been done. And it's no good, making platitudinous statements about, oh, well, we'll engage with you now and we'll listen to what you've got to say. It's all nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. They are empty words. These big six don't understand, even now, the tidal wave, the tsunami of anger that they have unleashed against themselves. They all need to go, all 6 of them.
Glazers gonna die. How we kill them, I don't know. Crossing off my mentions, so all I know is Glazers gonna die.
I'm speaking directly to you now, Glazer brothers. You've taken £1 billion out of this football club, either servicing your debt interest or your personal dividends. Don't you think that's enough? It's time to go. And I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you, do the right thing. Sell this football club to real football people and go and spend your money elsewhere.
United!